Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. By Hashem Rakakadash. It's your brother Dawadah coming at you with another lesson. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers who's out there laboring in this truth, trying to wake up the 12 tribes of the elect of the children of Israel. Yeah, and this lesson is going to go into, I don't know what I'm going to title this lesson, but it's going to go into the troubling times that we're headed into right now. So we've seen all these different mass shootings go on, and whether it's psyops or whether it's real, it's all by the hand of the Most High. He's doing this to shorten the days for the elect's sake, right? So we know that these things are going to eventually implement martial law and eventually implement what Jacob's trouble. But don't be faint-hearted. Know that the Most High God has you, right? So we're going to go into Jacob's trouble first, and then we're going to go into having your faith that you know that the Most High God is going to protect you, okay? So this is the book of Daniel. Salakia. Chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince that standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book," okay? The book of life. Everyone that should be found written in the book, the elect. So it's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, man. You know, and we understand this, so we got to prepare ourselves spiritually for this, man. Let's get Jeremiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. In verse 6. But don't fear, man, because the Most High God, He got us, man. He got us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the elect. Alright? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6. "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail? And all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it," okay? It's coming up, man. The time of Jacob's trouble is surely approaching, all right? And you need to understand that you need to have faith in the Most High God to protect you in those days, man. Matter of fact, let me get this. Because we had different accounts to show us how the Most High God was with us, right? This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. "Whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope," okay? This is going to give you hope. This is going to give you comfort. This is going to help you get through Jacob's trouble, man. These scriptures, all right? So let's get an account of, I want to get out the Apocrypha, of one of the times the Most High God defended His children, right? Now, this is an account of Daniel in the lion's den, right? It's the history of Baal and the dragon. And I'm going to start at verse 28. "When they of Babylon heard that they took," Salakia. "When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation." What they heard is that Daniel had destroyed the dragon, all right? It says, and conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew, and have destroyed Baal, and have slain the dragon, and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. Now when the king saw that they were pressed, Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lions' den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Jewry a prophet named Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. So this is Habakkuk, right? It says, but the angel of the Most High said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord Yahweh, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. And the angel of the Most High took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. All right, so the angel came and grabbed Habakkuk on the crown of his head by his hair, took him and transported him to where? To Babylon from Jerusalem, man. This is the faith and understanding that you need to have, that the Most High God can save you out of any situation, man. Understand that. It says, then the angel of the Most High took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried and said, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which power hath sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. He's not going to forsake the ones who seek him and love him, right? You love him by doing what? Doing what he say do. And you seeking out of the book of the Lord, and you reading, you're studying, you trying to make your calling and election sure, right? It says, verse 38 again, and Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Most High set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. Upon the 7th day the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, great art thou, O power, O power of Daniel, and there is none beside thee. And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 7. The angel of the Most High encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. O taste and see that the Most High is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. The fear of the Most High, O fear the Most High, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. There's not going to be a want to you to fear the Most High God, man. Understand that, man. You know, he have his angels encamped around about us, right? And you go into the account of Elisha, where he was dismayed because, you know, armies had compassed him and Elijah. And Elijah had to pray to the Most High God for him to get his eyes open, because he was so dismayed, and said that it's more with us than with them. Matter of fact, let me get that right quick. All right, Salakia. Because he didn't realize, you know, that the angels of the Most High was around about him. And I should have remembered that, but it's all good. It's 2 Kings, the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 16. It says, and he answered, fear not. Matter of fact, let me read up. This is verse 12. And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel. Telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servants of the Most High power, and when the servant of the man of Yahweh was risen early and gone forth, behold, and host and compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. All right? And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Most High and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha, right? So anything you ask for, man, have faith that the Most High God is going to protect you, man. Have faith that he's going to bring you through that fire. Have faith that he's going to bring you through that lion's den, all right? Because why, man? Because you're seeking the Most High God. You're doing the things that are well-pleasing to him, right? Right? So what the devil has for your back, guess what the Most High has for your good, man? And we need to remember that, man. Don't think that the situation is far greater than you can handle, man. Because the Most High God says he's not going to put more on you than you can bear. So you got to remember, man, if you're seeking the Most High, he's going to be with you, man. He's going to have those angels encamped around about you, right? Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers out there laboring in this truth, trying to wake up the elect of the children of Israel. Till the next time I say, Shalom.